you so much for joining us today. I'm here with Sara Božanić, the director, creator of Cinda Real, one of our fantastic entries this year at the third annual Her Vision Film Festival. And yes, I just want to thank you. This is such an empowering film. So would you like to tell us a bit about your team behind it, how it came to be? I'll give you the floor.
Oh, thanks a lot. So actually, Cinda Real film is a part of a broader transmedia project that is called Twisted Tales. So the overall idea for the film was born out of the fact that some of the fairy tales of old really have questionable messages. And the way that we educate and teach kids through media could be enhanced. So we said, okay, so what if we take these familiar narratives, integrate different topics of stigma inside the narrative, like physical disability, like sexual abuse, mental, racial, and we just twist the narratives and provide a different message, our message. And so, the Twisted Tales or the Cinda Real retelling of Cinderella came to life in such a way because we wanted to empower children. An example with the Cinda, not to wait in a castle for a white rich man, but rather to just go for a dance because we just want to dance. And do what we really wish for and overcome the obstacles. So to answer your question, the team behind it is huge. The complete film was executed together with children through different workshops, through retelling of the script, enhancing it with them through drawing, then through animating, and also the kids gave the voiceovers. So the participatory creation took process in Slovenia, but then the voiceovers for French and English version were done in Kuala Lumpur by the kids of the International School of Kuala Lumpur as part of the educational process. So in overall, the project engaged really a lot of the kids, and it's theirs. So it has some kind of their authenticity. And I'm really happy to hear it was accepted well.
Yeah. When we did the screening, people, just couldn't stop talking about how beautiful the animation is, the positivity and the message. And it's so inspired because really, just the ingenuity of this, because I can't imagine, people, waiting for, like you were saying, like Prince Charming, and then when it doesn't happen, the level of depression, like, wait, where is my promised fairy tale? And all the victimization that it could really foster in a society. So just I can't thank you enough for bringing this into the light. The process also sounds fascinating. How long did it take to put Cinda Real together?
It took us quite a long time because one thing was the development of the project, which of course took way longer because together with a child psychologist, we created this methodology on how to work with children and teach them destigmatization and also get the materials from them. And then the process of getting the finances. And also setting up the co-production because the film has been financed by the European Union Creative Europe Media Program, but also by our co-producers in Portugal, Croatia, and also in Bosnia and Herzegovina and from Slovenia. So also this takes time, and then producing with the children, I don't know, I think, and then animating and testing and animating with animators from Serbia, France, from Bosnia, also from everywhere. So I think it took us 6 years.
Wow. That's just
altogether.
yeah. God bless your your stamina, to stick to a vision for that long. People, maybe will think, oh, it's a short film, but they have no idea, the painstaking process. Wow. Really,
Yes, and it
again.
really involved a lot of the children. So around 100 children from different countries participated in like making it happen. So it also took time to work with them.
Interesting. What was there like working with them? What was that like? I'm wondering what their take was on, this retelling of a story that they've probably heard, the
Uh,
traditional version of.
Yes, so it differed. So when we did this participatory process with them, we also did some kind of a revision or the feedback, and it really differed by the group. Because the girls responded that I mean they liked it and everything, but they were quite disappointed because there is no prince.
Oh, wow.
There is no prince in the marriage. And they reflected a lot on a story, which was nice. But then the boys didn't reflect on a story, but they reflected on this co-creation process, what was nice, because behind it, they learn how cartoons come to life. And they were some kind of impressed by the methodology more than by the story.
Interesting. Very interesting. Wow. So you said with Twisted Tales, your team, right? Are you doing another? Is there another in the works of another fable, another retelling? Can you reveal a little bit of that?
Yes.
Yes.
So already on the twistedtales.tv website, there is a series of audio tales available. And we have Cinda Real, I think in 6 languages, English, Spanish, Croatian, Slovenian, etc. But then you also we're tackling sexual stigma through Bianca, through Little Red Bianca and the Wolf. So in audio tale, we already have another one. Then machism is touched inside the Aladdin and the Magic Lamp. We also have a story about abandoned children and the grief, and it's called New Hansel and Gretel. So there is a huge, a bunch of audio tales already available, and a new film is on the way, and it's called The Princess and the Real Frog. And it's a story about gender identity and acceptance, but also different religions. And behind it, it's the princess loves the frog, and the frog is just a frog, and the frog will never be a prince. So she needs to defend her friendship among her friends, among her family, and just fight for her friend. So yeah, that one is on the way.
Wow. Wow. This is just so intriguing, and it's also a book. Cinda Real and the other. So is it like a thing where libraries can come to you and request your book, or how does that work?
Yes, we just launched the Amazon, and also the book is available through the website twistedtales.tv, or also by sending me just a personal email, and we'd be happy to share the book all around and to have it.
Wow. No, it's just again, it's just such a marvelous point of view, such a unique point of view on, what we've all been set up to believe in some form or another, and yeah, just yeah, brava. I can't, I can't say that enough. I'm also just curious, what's your background? What kind of put you on this path? Yeah.
So my professional background is I'm a designer. So I specialize in designing methods. I love to work with children and try to design a frame that can allow them to be creative, to think critically, to act, to enhance their skills. So this is what I really love to do. But maybe why the twisted tales and such sensitivity for such topics is I originate from a Jewish community. So my grandmother was the sole survivor of a family surviving Auschwitz. My grandfather survived Mauthausen. My father originates from an island but has lost his mom in an early childhood. But on the other hand, my primary family is the best I could have. I had the most healthy childhood I could have. And somehow I have just, I don't know, my identity is part of my work. I just love to do what I enjoy and what I believe in. And I believe that there could be a more just world. So yeah, a nice message and a form that I really like, cartoons.
That's just, I'm really taken aback by you. Like, what a story, you could have went a different path, your from your grandparents, tragedies, another person could have turned dark, or vengeful or what have you, but you're a shining example of getting past, anything that life comes at you with and making a beautiful way for those to come.
Thanks a
That's
lot. But I love it. It's just me. I simply enjoy it.
uh, beautiful. I'm also curious because you're saying, you have a team, in Twisted Tales. And that's a thing that I think people sometimes take for granted, is their collaborators. Not all people, of course, but just, the relationships that need to be in place in order for a project, especially one of this scope, to happen. How did you find them? What was that? I have a
Mm.
feeling that's an interesting story. How did you all find
Because
each other?
yeah, I usually have a topic I want to work on as designer, but then it turns out that it's always different medium or a form. So somehow Twisted Tales turned to be animation. And because I didn't know anything, I started the project through so-called the development labs or the pitching forums. So the project was presented at the Cartoon in Quebec, Canada. It was at Warsaw Kids Forum, then at the Berlinale with Kids Radio, etc. So it gave me an insight on the market and also allowed me to meet the people, to connect and to see if we couldn't cooperate. So yeah, I have an amazing Croatian producer, Miljana Dragicevic, Minja Film and Animation on board, then Luis Mata Almeida, the Portuguese producer for the film, and the Bosnian Mladen Đukić. And yeah, we all somehow connected through different forums or just through our pool of network, yeah. But sharing the same passion.
That's excellent. That's a gift in itself. I believe in all our creative endeavors when you can
Yes,
have that teamwork.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the first gift. Yeah, above and beyond the actual project. I'm curious, like your designs, did they stay like pretty to the original drafts? How did they evolve over time? Did they?
May I share the screen?
Sure.
Can you see children's drawings?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So during the process, so at first I said that we designed a method, and the method was based on different workshops, how to work with children. So in the first one, we read them the script, and they enhanced it, like added the dialogue, how in reality stepmothers, stepsisters, or Cinda should react. Then we also asked them to draw it. and they did. And this screen shows part of their selection of the drawings. And then the art director of the film, Dali Borkazia, took those drawings and tried to first understand what colors are used by children. So what is their world in the world of colors, but also trying to understand what kind of patterns do they use. Then he started to redesign the characters by merging elements from many of them and trying to find some kind of how to translate it into a character that can work in a film, in a book, wherever. After the first sketches, he also implemented the color palettes into the characters. And at this stage, we also went back to our audience and we said to our co-authors, and we said, okay, like this is what we did. What do you say? And they said in general, it's okay, but they started to laugh and they said, okay, the stepmother is me, but
Oh, really?
butt, like no one can have such a butt, so you need to. And then the grandmother, no, like no, in non-reality, no, the grandmother can't have the pink color. This is just something that can't work. And then also they couldn't confess to the color of the hair of the prince, but also the crown was too long. So we returned to a studio really with a headache and thinking like what to do. So we took all the comments and started to enhance the characters and the environment based on what they said. This slide shows the integration of each of the object that was received by a child in an environment in a complete film.
Wow.
So it's all theirs. It has been just translated into the language that can work and also used many of them. Why? We can't just use one child and his drawing because then we are empowering the solitary approach. So this also showed them that, you know, in order to build something, we need a team. And this is the right example on how we did it. So if we received 7 castles, we did one castle, one 3D form out of all of the 7. And then, yes, some of the examples. But this is more or less the method. So I stopped sharing at this point.
Yes. Yeah, no, that was beautiful. That was such a great walkthrough. And just like, it's wonderful that you did this with children, but I could also like, envision like a 30-year-old woman sitting there and going, this is healing for me, you know? So it's just amazing, it's like healing the inner child as well as, for children. I just am blown away by your endeavor.
Yeah.
Truly. Yeah.
Once I received a really nice comment on the screening because a mother of a child with disabilities came and she said, look, I'm really watching a lot of the films on diversities, disabilities, but there is one thing I have never seen. And I asked her, but what is it? And she said, I haven't seen anyone taking a character that symbolizes perfection and adding or twisting the imperfection into it. So yes, it's reality and it's built with real people. That's the core behind it.
Again, just brilliantly, brilliantly done.
Thank you.
Yes. And do you want to give the website one more time? People can go and check everything out.
Yeah, so the project is called Twisted Tales, and the website is twistedtales.tv,
Beautiful.
like an entertainment channel.
Yes. Wonderful. Do you think, just a last question, then I'll let you go. Do you think so then you want it to stay on Twisted TV? Are you going to push it out there to distributors, or you're fine, it just being you know,
Mm.
in your control, so to speak. Because I know like sometimes filmmakers get so happy to hear a distributor is interested in something, but they also kind of screech like, oh my goodness, we're gonna get taken advantage of. So it's always so I'm just curious, your take on that.
I don't know. I'll be honest and answer through the goal. So the goal of the project is to reach audience, to reach the kids, so they can use it and learn and open up the topic of these sensitive stories. If at some point this requires distributors giving out the IP, but knowing that it will reach audience and it will serve, yes, I'm up to it. But let's see what the future brings and where we end.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to thank you. I've read a lot about the Her Vision Festival, and I think it's a really beautiful initiative. But what I really love the most is that the screenings are organized in a public library. Because for our project, I believe that's where our audience is. So thank you.
Brilliant, brilliant. Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, yeah. Just again, I thank you so much for all your endeavors and your hard work. And yes, thank you for sharing your story and your process.
Thank you.
Thank you.